Well. Guess who's back? It's Zai himself with more server drama, more Hunty zombie situations, more allegations on fire. Yeah, well, it's the usual, let's say. I recommend you all to grab a snack, sit back, relax, and let me and Frigid begin the video and explain everything that needs to be explained to everyone. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Alright, now just as Zai presented to us, we are back in Zai's DMs and the plot has thickened since the last video I uploaded discussing the Hunty zombie situation. So if you are watching this and you have not seen this video right here, let me give a very quick summary to speed you up. So in this video I discussed the mass tester purge, the new management changes, and the insane corruption going on in the official Hunty Zombies Discord. Now everything I discussed in this video explained why the quality of Hunty Zombies updates have changed under this new ownership compared to P Fresh's ownership. But many things have drastically changed ever since I uploaded this video. So first, let's discuss what happened immediately after dropping this video. So immediately following this video's upload, Zai was discussing the situation in the official Hunty Zombies general chat. And it wasn't long until they decided to ban Zai from the official Discord. And he was banned by Pichu himself. Zai even sent a message saying if they ban me, they'll be proving my point. Pichu sent this message: if you keep mentioning the situation, you'll be punished. Of course, after any sort of community outrage that happens with this dev team, their solution is to silence the community. Now they must be unfamiliar about everything because silencing the community is the wrong choice and possibly the worst choice somebody can choose to do. It immediately made the entire dev team and staff team look very guilty, especially with everybody in the comments of that video unanimously agreeing and standing with Zai. So prior to this ban, Zai was in a call with Pichu and some other members in the Discord. And of course, while he was in this call, he got banned. But not only did they ban Zai, they created an entire rule specifically targeting for trying to justify for Zai's ban. Every move they're making just makes them look so obviously guilty for all the actions they're doing. But after this ban, Zai went to apply for the ban, which expectedly got rejected. Until Zai's next idea was to create a ticket. But before we get into Zai's ticket, let's continue the fallout of my video. So in the general chat, every time Pichu was confronted about the situation, he just avoided all questions and deflected everything by spamming has-been hotel gifts. This is a grown man, by the way, who preaches about maturity. He then mentioned that anybody who continued talking about this situation will be banned. And right now I'm showing you the proof, and every time Pichu was confronted about the situation, he just kept sending gifts and all these has-been hotel gifts. And like I said, it's hard to believe he's a grown man acting like he's fucking 12. I even mentioned that this is very embarrassing, on top of mentioning his unprofessional mannerisms, which drives the point of how a power-hungry, immature kid doesn't know how to take the criticisms of his corruption. So of course, after all that, Zai entered the VC with Pichu and Kirito in it. Now there's one major point in the conversation I want to personally highlight. So it is about a conversation between Kirito and Pichu. Kirito says you need to reply. Pichu said I never wanted to even be tester. I wanted to mod the server and be a VC mod. After a bit of useless information, Pichu said they need to grow up, in which Kirito agreed. Now this goes to show that Pichu isn't completely brain dead and he is completely self-aware of everything he's doing. And I also want to highlight this tidbit of Kirito being sugar-coated into this manipulation from Pichu. So I did mention this in my last video that Kirito was not 100% part of the act. Kirito is simply Pichu's friend that happened to be promoted to tester because Pichu appointed him as a tester. And I'm unsure if I did not mention this in the last video, but Kirito was unaware of the bans that was happening. And Kirito confronting Pichu saying you need to reply goes to show the difference of maturity between Kirito and Pichu. So I'm saying all this just so I can clear Kirito's name to say that he is not the perpetrator. He was simply caught in the crossfires of everything that was happening. So moving on from Zai's ban during the VC call, we get into Zai's ticket. So the support staff that helped Zai was Zyraxius. Now Zyraxius is a very cool person. and it seemed like the conversation was going pretty well. Zy felt so happy talking to Zyraxius because he finally felt heard about this whole situation. What frustrated Zy and me the most was that every time we tried to give any sort of criticism, there was no reciprocation from anybody whatsoever. It felt like we were talking to a brick wall and nobody was listening to what we had to say. Zy even mentioned that he felt like the drama was about to end, because not only did this information take forever to reach the higher ups, but they are so sensitive that you can't talk too harsh, otherwise they will assume that they are being threatened. Zy was pretty disappointed because he expected this to be the salvation for Hunty zombies. But unfortunately, creating the ticket went wrong and Zy is staying banned. Especially since Caleb himself refused it. He says it is too much to handle and he is tired of the drama. So once again, I want to mention that Zyraxius was a very cool person and pretty nice about the whole situation. It was just the higher ups that denied his ticket. So from this point, since Zy is banned and is staying banned, Zy is handing the next part of the video to one of the ex-testers who would like to stay anonymous but will go by the name Pacific. So Pacific decided to ask around the opinions of other testers and how they feel about the new management. And the overall consensus is that every tester is very dissatisfied with how everything went. And one of them even quoted Caleb himself saying people have favorites, and said that's just life to justify the incident reported in my video. So to be honest with you, this is a very immature statement by Caleb. Caleb saying people have favorites and that's just life just kind of goes to show that this guy just hasn't really grown up yet. Because life isn't about picking your favorites or just choosing your friends because they're your friends. Caleb has definitely not grown up to realize that that's not how life works. He is developing a game and he needs a team of professionals who are good at their job. He doesn't need a team of his racist friends and his pedophile friends running the game. He needs actual competent people who are going to report the bugs and listen to the community and actually deliver on what the people want for this game to be. Now I want to highlight a few messages that the testers said. So the devs created an analogy about all of this criticism, saying that we are just a loud minority and there are still thousands of other people playing the game. Well, I just want to mention that one, that is just flat out wrong, because as of this video, the player count of Hunty Zombies has plummeted all the way to only 5,000 active players. So clearly people definitely do care about this, and whether people don't even know about this situation or not, the actions that you are taking with this game is directly affecting the game itself, that even normal players are recognizing this. And the next message I want to highlight piggybacks my statement I said earlier. Now I want to quote this entire message that they sent. No, that isn't life. If you own and develop for a game, you don't get the luxury of having favorites. You choose who's objectively better for the team. If you're a dev with favoritism, you're corrupt and a shit developer. And he is absolutely right. So Pacific mentioned that of the 6 people they talked to, 3 of them said that they felt a lack of communication still lingered, while only 1 tester felt like they were being heard, while the 2 other testers that Pacific spoke to took a neutral stance. And they're only doing their jobs and it is up to management to manage everything. So shout out to Pacific for giving us some inside information of what is going on with the development and testing of Hunty Zombies from the release of my video. But now passing it back to Zy, we are entering the darkest situation by far. So Zy and I could not have ever anticipated this situation ever happening. So we are going to talk about Pinshu himself and his darkest acts towards younger people. And not only are we going to talk about these actions, but also accusations from past managements that watched the entire thing happen with their own eyes. This is the tester manager for Hunty Zombies. Talk about absolute scum. But that is not the only thing. Now I did touch on this in the last video, but even though this rule was reiterated, Pinshu still has several management roles that he's not allowed to have. To put this into perspective, there are 6 main departments within the Hunty Zombies community. So of course, first we've got the staff. These are the moderators monitoring chat, taking care of all the troublemakers. And next we've got the support team with tickets. So this is the staff team in the support server, helping players and server members with specific requests on a one-to-one conversation. And next we've got the testers. Now this is the department with the most hands-on playing of the actual game itself, because testers are actually playing the game itself and improving its quality. And next we've got the question helpers, who help players in the main server answer questions. And the next 2 are the content creator and the VC mod department. Both are pretty self-explanatory. Now the following rule mentions that no one should be the manager of more than 2 departments. Now, if we look at the rules of Pichu, obviously there's something wrong, because he's clearly the manager of 4 out of the 6 departments within the Hunty Zombies community. Now that is definitely power hungry, having double the amount of managements than you're allowed to have. And Zy put this perfectly, stating that this only shows that not only Caleb himself gave these top manager ranks to Pichu, even though he was breaking the rules by doing that, but also how the staff did not do anything to stop them from being corrupted. So this goes to show that there is just a lot of compliance to Pichu's corruption and how nobody really cares that this is happening. But from here, it still gets even weirder. To add more fuel to the fire that's already happening, Caleb himself decided to cause more issues and invite his friends and make some alts to mess up the server. Talk about being childish and trying to grow up. Now, the biggest troublemaker among these people is Cud, who is a new member to the staff, and they are an assistant manager. Now, there were many comments in the general chat stating that Cud was being racist to the EU people and rage baiting them. Of course, further driving the unprofessionalism of this server. And the funniest part about all of this is Pichu trying to defend Cud even after everything he's done. Cud has falsely banned more than 50 people, and nobody's doing anything about it. There are at least 50 people in the Discord server who just got banned for no reason. Without any just or cause, everybody just compliantly watched this guy do this. Talk about a total piece of shit. And not only was Cud racist, but he also threatened to sue specific members. Now, this comment spurred from the whole code situation. Now, if you are unaware of what happened with the code situation, basically on Christmas, Hunty Zombies dropped some insane codes. But those codes were only up for 3 hours. So depending on your time zone, you could have been asleep or you could have been busy at work and not have had any time to redeem those codes whatsoever. Hunty Zombies is probably the only game on Roblox right now without any codes to redeem for Christmas. And if anybody knows who I am, I'm normally not a huge fan of codes because they ruin playing the game. But come on, it's Christmas. You want to give people free stuff and your players are expecting it. And for you to take that away from all the players definitely frustrated the community. And of course, to piss the community off even more by not getting any codes, Cud was being a total asshole about it. So that is the entire state of the game and the state of the official Hunty Zombies server. So continuing on from that, we reached extreme power creep. Now, I previously made a video about this, but the power creep in this game has just gotten so insane. The disconnect from players and developers has just gotten so far off from each other. It is so sad to see this game die so slowly. And it just seems like in each update, we just keep going back and forth. A severe lack of communication in every facet. And nothing is changing whatsoever. Even with this Operation Health update coming in the future, let's be honest and say that nothing is changing.
Wait. Do you think we are done with the video? No. I suddenly realized that there's one more drama left to address, one more situation. And let me tell you, this one is the funniest by far. The one that I least expected for it to happen on this entire community, on this entire drama, on everything. It was the one that I least expected. So stay tuned and watch the Caleb resignation.
And that's right, the Caleb resignation. So initially this video was ending on a pretty somber note. Just more toxicity, more corruption, and no communication. But there may be a slight hope in the future. Caleb is resigning from Hunty Zombies. But that statement is not entirely true, because Caleb didn't actually resign. He actually got kicked from the entire development of Hunty Zombies. Due to all the reports of his corruption and the entire drama happening, a higher up named Ben decided to take action and erase him from the Hunty Zombies server. Now, I noticed this a few days ago that Caleb was not even in the official Hunty Zombies server anymore. I was pretty afraid of what the future of the game was gonna look like, but it looks like the future is gonna continue forward without Caleb in it. Now, just as Zy puts it, this is one of the greatest chances that we can have to actually make progress, since the non-corrupted devs will take his place, as the new owner for Hunty Zombies is now Slayer, who hopefully is more aware of what is going on with the community. So we are able to leave this on some good news. Action may happen slowly, but we may have to be patient for some good changes to actually fruition in this game. And now, just as Zy puts it, Ben did remove Caleb from our problems list, but next on the list is Cud and Pichu, the biggest troublemakers on the server. So a message from me and Zai, please share this video and this information with Slayer and the higher ups. Please spread this video to the community so that we can continue forward this game into a brighter future. So we reached the end of Zai's message, the entire server drama up until this point. Just as Zai says, hopefully things change because both him and I do not have the patience to keep on making videos like this and to keep on writing text scripts like this anymore. Now I just want to say shout out to Zai for compiling all of this information together. Truly without him, I personally would have had no idea what was going on during this whole situation. And with his help, we're able to make positive change for this game, a game I truly care about, a game I just want to get back to playing, and I just want to get back to making videos about it. That's truly why I keep on making these videos. I just really hope that a change will happen and then I can continue having fun with this game and continue to make fun videos about it for you guys. So once again, shout out to Zai, he deserves all the praises. So let me know what you guys think of all of this information down in the comments. Do you guys still believe there is a future with Hunty Zombies, with Slayer as the new game owner, and with Caleb gone? Do you think Pichu and Cud will actually face consequences for their actions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.